Hi
Hey,
everyone. We are back. A new session, a new day. So I always interrupt you, Brian. Okay, go ahead, Brian. Just like the
it's
first session, what do you want
it's
to
the
say?
it's the lag that happens between me and you that causes that. I was just saying
Oh,
hi
there
to
is a lag. Do you remember that very first session you and I did? That session almost exceeded 8,000 views. It went
yeah.
crazy, right? And that's great because we were basically showing people what a couple of guys would do, when an idea pops up. And by the way, just so you know, I'm gonna be doing a session tomorrow morning to talk about all this work that we've been doing with a group of people, also really nice people. Cecil Williams. Cecil was one of the developers advocates at Microsoft before he left it and went to a different company. I can't remember the name of the Stripe. He went to Stripe, which is I think payment processing services. He's also a developer advocate in there. Here, this position is famous, like being a developer advocate. Pretty much what I'm doing is called developer advocacy, but I do it for fun, right? Like sitting down with engineers, talking about concepts and ideas, and then I go add my own concepts and my own library. So I'm advocating my own, pieces of knowledge as I go and I discover them. So before we talk about this, I want to just kind of highlight something that Brian has been kind of really putting I'm really fascinated with some of the ideas that you come up with sometimes, brother. Like it's quite crazy. So what Brian is saying, Brian, do you want to? Oh, you do. Oh, Visual Studio is updating, so you can't show people things.
No,
You can show it on a notepad if you want, or I can
no.
show it. It's either.
You, you can show it, my friend. I'm just worried about the lag interrupting in the stream as well with the stuff going on here.
Okay, so just to remind people, we are sort of blocked. Thanks to dependency injection, we're not really fully blocked. We can move forward with foundation services and stuff like that, but we're kind of blocked on an idea where we really want to simplify passing in a model, right, that turns into a multi-part form, right? Most of the solutions that we have out there are extremely complex, right? It requires people to kind of, know too much about this. So, like a crazy person, I basically go around and tell people, hey, people tell me this is impossible, technology doesn't offer it, and then I tell them I don't care, figure it out, right? So the, the dream here that we have in mind is to basically this is what I said, just like a little child, just kicking my feet up in the air and just basically saying, I don't care what you do, make it work. And the thing that I wanted people to do is to basically go and say, I want to post a multi-part form here. So this dot API broker, and you're basically saying post form async, and you're passing in student in here, maybe a relative URL, right? And what basically happens is that it takes that model, so assume that this model is public class student like this, and this, let's say this student has a bunch of strings and a bunch of streams, so public stream file, student file, let's say student file, right? So this is a get and a set, and we basically want to also have something like a string, I don't know, maybe student name. In that case, it would be name. Look at me kind of OCDing over even an example. So something like that, right? The problem we have today is that, how do you convert that model? So you're supposed to be posting a model to stay consistent, right? You better listen up to this because you won't, I promise you, you won't find this anywhere on the internet. We're innovating as we go. Like literally, we're just really innovating and trying to do this. So listen to this because this is not something you're going to find on some forum anywhere. Okay, so the problem that we're trying to do here, why do we bother, right? Why can't we just go here and say, oh, well, I have my HTTP client and I don't know, you create a multi-part form. Here's new multi-part form like this, and then you start adding manually that stuff into your, I don't know, some file name in here, and then some other file path or whatever the case may be, right? Stuff like that, right? I'm pretty sure I butchered this a little bit, but what the problem with that is that first of all, it's not pretty, it's not beautiful, We know the solution that works, but it's not beautiful. Uh, Even if we make it right, it's not intuitive. Like I can't go and tell people, oh, by the way, if you're gonna use RESTful sense, just so you understand the kind of energy that goes into this. If you're gonna use RESTful sense and you just want to do a post student async, you're gonna pass a URL and student. But if it's a form, you're gonna have to do something completely different. That's just ugly. It's janky. It's jank. It's bad. Okay. So what did Brian come up with? We want to convert this model into a multi-part form. Look at the genius of this guy. He basically went and said, okay, there's a problem, right? The problem here is that stream, in order for you to post a file, is it just a is it like label and then file name like this? Is that right, Brian?
No, it's the name, then the stream, and then the file name. Yep.
Gotcha. So the name
Mhm.
on the form. So the form that you're posting, that's the name. Okay. So
So
name
the
file.
in our sorry to interrupt. In our case, the name will be file. Yep, yep. The stream will be the stream of the file, and the file name will be the name of the JSON file. So
Right. So it
yep,
would be file, something like this,
yep.
and then you want to stream in here and
Hmm.
then the file name.
Yes.
How the heck do you solve that? Yesterday, it sounded so good on paper to go and say, oh, Brian, it's so simple. Just go and do RESTful file like this and go ahead and just pass in the name, which is file for us. And if we want to add anything else, we can put file name in here. It sounded good, but it's not good. A lot of ideas sound so great on paper until you actually start implementing them. So when you talk to someone, you're arguing about a certain case or a certain issue, and the issue is sounds good on paper, but they never tried, they don't have a POC, it doesn't mean anything. It's just an idea. It's just an idea. Okay? So the problem that we realized here is that this, you can't pass this as a value, and the file name is going to change as you're instantiating this object. That's what, crossed us. We couldn't kind of think about that yesterday, right? How are you going to pass this? Like if you're going to go and say, here's a student, and this is my new student value, and here is my student file equals some stream, and you're passing in the name in here, right? And let's say this name, I don't know, Elbic, for instance. Where the heck am I supposed to pass the file name? And the file, we know that the file name is going to change. Okay, so that just tells you the theory is bad. So what did Brian do? This is where it comes to some of the most amazing solutions so far. We're not fully in yet, but this is a great solution. He basically went in and said, okay, we need a file name, so I'm going to go here and say public string file name. And then up here, I'm going to go and say, take in the property of student.file name. So he's basically telling RESTful sense, see how he connected two properties together. He basically said the name on the form is going to be this, and here's an additional property that you're going to be able to go read from that object on that property value. It's smart. It's a smart solution. It's a smart solution. Is it the final solution? I can't say that yet. I can't make that decision yet. But it's extremely, extremely smart because he's basically saying, oh, well, when we send this to RESTful Sense, RESTful Sense will be able to pick that up and basically turn the, name this as file. So this will go right here and then take that stream and put it right here and then pick up that file name based on the property that we referenced on this guy. So now the model has two types of properties, three types. There is properties referencing other properties. There are no reference properties like file name, and there are just individual properties or independent value properties like this RESTful RESTful, what did you call it, Brian? Field, like that, and then you called it something like name or something like that.
I called one RESTful file content, the other one RESTful string content. Yeah.
RESTful string content,
Mm.
and this is RESTful file content.
Yeah.
Now here's my last shot. I will take this solution, Brian, if and only if this last shot that I want to make doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So I wondered to myself, like, is there a native or a primitive or native type that can carry both a stream and a file name at the same time? Okay, 1 second, hang on there. So is there a file, just I still can hear you, I still can talk to you, but is there a primitive or native type that we can take that can actually give us both of these options outside of the box? Any ideas?
I told you one that you rejected, which was the tuple.
Nope. Tuple is not a native or primitive type. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's custom, right? So what about this guy? Let's go back here and let's go into the I just need a really dummy, and I know that I'm still setting things up. So here you go. What about this guy? So if I go down here and say, here is my, let's see here, Brian. If I go here and say private static void foo, and what if we went to something called FileStream? Do you remember FileStreams? FileStream has the name in it, right? Do you think it has the stream as well?
Hmm.
I think it does have the stream, right? So if I say, yep, Diogo just said FileStream. Exactly the same thing. So if I say read, no, not read, it carries its bytes with it. Sorry, the stream with it. I just don't remember the exact, let me go into the properties of this guy. Come on, there you go.
It is a stream itself. It inherits stream.
Oh, so it is a stream itself. So you can convert a file stream into a file stream content in RESTful sense, but
I can
also
get, yeah, I can convert it to a stream and then I can put it in a file stream content.
yeah, so the question is, why don't we use that?
Can we pass other sorts of streams into file stream? So
It's literally for file. That's actually that's go ahead. Go ahead. Just
because you might
shutting
be
up now.
pulling, yeah,
Mhm.
you could be pulling your stream from blobs. For example.
We still have to construct them as file streams because they need a name.
Mm.
Yeah?
I don't know much about file streams themselves, so actually I'm not real strong on them. I'm not sure how you construct them. If you can construct it from a byte array, I'm happy.
So new file stream, and that guy takes in a path. It takes in a access mode path file. Is it like a file stream dot? So if
This
you
is like
say,
this is like
uh,
a file read all built into one. Seems to be.
yeah, it is. It is. What's the lowest level of permission here that we can have? A handle, save file handle, or you give it a path. So here's a path, and then a file mode. So that's read or whatever. And so here's the mode, right? I think file mode dot open or something like that. And then you can have the name of this guy here. So we already have the name because we're already reading the path. And we can also read async. We don't have to read anything actually, it's just that. I mean, ready sync will fill it with the stream. Like you're gonna have to call that guy at some point in time. That's the only shot um, um, that I can think of, right? Elbic says you can't build it from a byte array, but if we have our broker return that file stream, then we're done here.
Yeah, but hang on. This file stream is only accepting a path. You see what I mean? And the broker's going to return a stream. So how do you push a stream into that?
No, hear me out. You know, the file broker is gonna have to change.
Yep, okay. And this is the other issue I'm going to say. You're not always going to get in this data from a file.
Whoever is gonna pass this data to us is gonna have to build a file stream for us because they're uploading a file. But yeah, to your point, what if they're getting the stream from an API?
Mm. Or even building the contents of the stream themselves using a GUI.
So let's play with ChatGPT. Let's do prompt engineering for a second here, and let's see what we have. Because I'm pretty sure you can do something about it. I just don't remember.
Mm.
So here is Chat OpenAI.
Just so everyone knows, Hassan and I have been beating our heads over this for a long
Oh
time.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we're going out there on a stream. People think that when we say goodbye, have a good night, that we just actually just go away. We don't. We continue to work. We continue to research. Mostly Brian, though. I'm just like, so he's gonna throw an idea at me, and I'm just gonna be like literally just eating my breakfast or something, and then tick, something just happens. Like just a little light bulb, pops in my head. I'll be like, wait a second, why didn't he do it this way? Right? Anyway, is there a way? Let's see.
I love when you have a problem like this, when you bounce it off good friends, they can come back with other ideas. Sometimes the craziest ideas end up being the best solution when
Mm-hmm.
you sort of pick from everyone's ideas. So
Yes, sir.
you'll quite often see me talking about ideas that aren't really realistic, but I'm just trying to get feedback, and that'll help me.
Well, of course you can. You can build a look, you can build a file stream out of a stream, sir.
Bing is lying to me.
Oh, don't use Bing. Bing is garbage. Use ChatGPT. You know Bing is basically just Microsoft's layer of whatever BS is going on there, and then there's ChatGPT underneath,
Yeah.
right? So if ChatGPT
And
doesn't
is
ex
it? I thought,
so if ChatGPT didn't exist today, there will be no Bing GPT. Do you
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Go right there, right? I mean, it's doing a lot of great things, but again, I've tried it a couple of times. Halfway mid-sentence, it says to me, "I'm sorry, I would like not to continue this conversation." I was like, "Screw you. Who are you to tell me that?" You know? So no, I don't need to use this. I'd rather hit the core. Like if you
Mhm.
want, the smarts are really working on the chat GPT itself. But what you would get out of Bing or Azure Cognitive Services is good offerings
Mm.
if they remove the layer of BS on top of whatever. But so Brian, we
Mm.
can construct a file stream out of a stream. Would that be enough?
I'm happy with that. Are you happy to push back the building of the file stream to whoever using the client?
They're gonna need to provide you the file stream and their
Yep.
model. So if they provided you with the file stream and your model, do we even need the attributes anymore? We still do because we need the name,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And we also need, yeah, like I said, in RESTful sense point of view, there could be many streams with many names. Yep. You can upload multiple files at once.
How do you feel about this?
I tend to like it. I'm actually halfway fixing the code to adjust to it. That my POC code.
Yeah, do a POC. That's the most important part. Do a POC for it. And, do we need to have a path? What if I give you just a raw stream with a BS path because I'm not really writing to anything? What would that mean? What would that look like? Right? And let me know, you know. Um,
See, the issue we're going to have here is what's the point of the broker if we're going to pass a path here? What's the point of the other broker?
well, one broker needs to go read from a file
Mm,
and propagate through the foundation service and give us back that file stream. And we take that file stream and hand it over to the API.
fair enough. Okay.
That's going to be the plan at least.
Mm-hmm. So that broker needs to, or the service above it will need to do that. Yep.
All of that needs to change.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, the real question here is it just something as simple as, let's take a look here. If I go on to our broker in here and I say, okay, you gave me that path, is all I need to do is just to go and say, let's find out, using file stream equal
Ooh,
what?
a path, is that the file name? I'm going to have to strip the file name out of the path.
I thought it cuts it for you. I thought it cuts the path for you and just gives you the thing, the final thing. No?
Not sure. Oh yeah, it would make sense if it did, hey?
Right. So file mode open, and then I want to go and say stream dot read, read the thing, or read async. And why is this guy taking a buffer? How do I get, can read, begin read, read. I just want read. What's the overload on this? It needs a buffer. How do we use this thing? Hang on. Let's go to ChatGPT again. How to use FileStream to read a file. So you do this whole BS file read, and then you create a buffer of 1024, buffer to read file contents, and then file bytes read, and then it reads the contents. I don't know, dude. Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up. I don't want to pass buffers or anything like that. So what would that look like, right? We could read it as a stream and then convert it into a file stream. That's an option. The copy-to method of the stream class is used to copy the data from the input stream and output file stream. So there's that. It's just gonna need a little bit of playing with it, basically. It's still not an easy problem because I am thinking I want to pass back that file stream. And that file stream that I'm passing back is gonna have both the content but the thing is the file stream itself doesn't have a property. So the stream itself, I'm guessing, is the file data, maybe. So it is the file data in and of itself, but also, it has a name property on it.
You can
And
just cast. You can just to get the stream. You just cast it to stream.
There you go. So that's a native model that will carry both the file data and the name of that file at the same time. This is one of the hardest problems we had in a while. We have hard problems. So I don't know about this whole buffer situation.
Yeah.
How to convert a stream into a file. Let's play it the other way around. Yeah, so we read the stream and then we convert it into a file stream and then we move on.
Mhm.
Let's try it together. I'll try this with you now. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna but I don't want to return the stream though. That's the thing. Like I want to return the file stream. That's what I want to return. Right? So copy to, this whole copy to output stream here. I'm not sure about that. You know, does it actually do what we're trying to do? I,
That'll copy the contents of one stream into the other. So you'll have the file stream. So the new file stream is being built there. So where do we pass the name in as well?
I mean, this is the guy that we're gonna propagate. My thought process was to read the file as a stream and then convert it to a file stream. And then you move on from there. So basically, whatever we had here originally. So you have this open read that returns a file. Wait, dude, open read returns a file stream.
Hmm.
Why are we returning it as a stream when it's already returning a file stream for us? That's dumb. But does that work? Does it give me the name that I'm looking for? Let's find out. So I'm gonna go here and say file.openRead. I'm just gonna find a file for it on the desktop here. Hang on. I'll just create a dummy one. So let's just create a dummy file in here on the desktop. And this dummy file is just gonna have the code that I was just showing people. So save as dummy. And here's desktop, save, and then give me the properties on this guy. And here's the address, right? I love how Windows cuts my name. It cuts the last letter of your name. I hate that. I hate that greatly. Dummy.txt, right? So technically this is a file stream. Why did we make it a stream? So assert true file stream is not null, right? Something like that. And then let me put a fact on top of this, right? And then I'm gonna go and say Control RT, and then I'm gonna put breakpoint in here, and let's see what happens. There you go. And then does this file stream name? I'm gonna put on an add watch in here just so you see what's happening. And then does this file stream has the name of the file? Ah, Brian, it has the whole thing.
Mhm.
Does that mean we need to cut it?
Yep.
We're gonna need to cut it. Who's gonna
Just
take care of? Yeah. Who's gonna take care of that? It can, it can't be RESTful Sense, that's for sure. It can't be RESTful Sense that takes care of that. So who's gonna take care of that? But it does read the whole thing. That's for sure. Let me ask you this question: when we are using um, Is there a way to change the name on the file stream to just the file name? That's another thing I'm thinking about. What did Carolyn say? Path.get file name. Yeah, the same thing Bandari says. Oh wow, Bandari, it's been a long time. Do you remember that guy? Brian from the first session. Divyesh Bandari, do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do path get file name without extension. That would, yeah, that's what Diogo and Catalin and Divyesh said. So it looks like there's an answer there. It's not completely out of answer, but we need a POC that works. So that answers that question. Like literally, if I just go across every single property.
The problem is the file stream returns back a name, which is what we want, but the name is read only.
Yeah, we don't want to change it. Do you want to change it?
Yeah, but it's the name is here with the full path. We do want to change it. We want to strip the path out of it. But when? Yeah, I see what you're saying.
When and who's gonna do that? Like, who's gonna take the responsibility? It can't be RESTful since, we know that for sure. Um,
And we know file read is going to return no file stream, but it's going to have the full path. So we're going to have to rebuild this file stream if you want to use a file stream.
we're gonna have to rebuild it, right? Why can't we modify it? Because you pass it in the constructor, you can't do anything with it after that, beyond that point?
Yeah, I'm just looking at. I just did an F12 on the file stream. I was just looking at the source code or the metadata, whatever you want to call it.
So there's nothing in here that basically just gives us just the file name without the operations encrypted. Yeah, it's a big file. It's a massive file. It has a lot of stuff going on in it. Is there anything in here? Like if I look, so this is a beautiful thing about this. If I just look for dummy, it'll just take me here. And that's it. It doesn't go anywhere else. Did you know that it has depth in here? You can go depth like 10, whatever. There's another one. And another one. And they all have the full path in it, which really sucks. By the way, it has a thing called path as well, which is interesting. But yeah, that's as far as it can go. So let me ask you this then. If we say this is a file and we're sending a file downstream, let me try and negotiate this a little. If we say that this is a file and we want to send this file downstream, let me open up a C sharp REPL. If I say string path and then there's this path here. Right, and I go and say file.path. What did these guys say? They say path dot get file name, and you passed in the path in here. That gives you dummy.txt. Right? We could play stupid and tell the person uploading the file, unless the file is in the same directory as OpenAI, we're just gonna transfer the entire path with it. Because in Linux, the file name is actually the entire directory, like the full path. There's no file name. The VS says, I really like these streams. The file streams or the stream? Oh, the streams. This stream that we're in. Oh, dude, don't play words like that. While I wasn't able to join other streams, but I do watch when I get time. It's really helpful. Keep them coming. All right, Devious. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh man, my brain is all streams. I'm thinking to myself, I really like those streams. I was like, which ones? You know, did he find the answer? Did someone find the answer for us? Why did you have to trip me like that? So, I say, Brian, I say take the whole file. Take this whole thing as a name for now.
Mm. You know, to pass that up to yeah, I'm a bit dubious about that. Really not sure. Is that going to be okay for all use cases for RESTful Sense?
I mean, as far as we know, these libraries are very much so driven by applications that use them. So unless another occasion arises that say this doesn't work for me, fine. Put path get file name on RESTful Sense. You're gonna have to put it behind something though, like a broker or something.
Mm-hmm. I've already got a reflection broker.
You're gonna need a file broker.
Mm.
And this file broker that you're gonna build is a utility broker, like a date time, because it doesn't really do anything on its own.
Yeah.
And then you will have a service, and this service will kind of give you the gist of it, and then it gives you all the way upstream to. I'm not 100% happy about it,
Mm.
but file streams. I mean, I'll take my shot. Let's see here. I'll take my shot. I'll go here into I'll play prompt engineer again and say how to change the name property on file stream is read only, returns blah. Oh, what the heck is that? It did usings twice?
It's basically rebuilding it. Copying one.
Oh, oh, if that's not hacky, I don't know what it is. So he's basically saying, oh, go create. Actually, this is pretty wild because what this is doing, it's basically going and saying, actually, there is no file, like there is no path, actually. It's just copying a stream with a new path that may or may not exist. So let me try this insanity just for a second, for all intents and purposes, while we're at it. Why not, right? Let's see. So if I go back here, and say, this is my file stream, but that's not really the one that I want, not just yet. I want something more than this. I want to go here and say file stream new stream equal, right? And in here, I'm basically going and saying new file stream. And I'm going to put my own path in here. So the path in here is going to be non-existent.txt. Okay? And the file mode is going to be whatever ChatGPT was just telling us a second ago, which is create. So it's creating a new file from nothing. Right? So create. If I do this and just go and say file new stream dot copy to file stream. What's the problem with that?
It's the other way around, isn't it?
Is it? I think they're named weird, but let's try. Use of unassigned. Oh, what am I missing? Hold on. It's probably just a tiny thing. Using. Oh, do I have to do the whole thing? That's really dumb. Sure, let's do that. Well, because we're using this new thing, we can get rid of this entire piece, right? That's the whole new point of, see, I got rid of all of it. Right? Because I'm already saying using here, and the new C# syntax basically tells you you can get rid of the, but now the real question here is, what's the value here? Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's debug this. What's Catalan say? Can semicolon at 125. Hmm? Oh, we already took care of it. You're fine. So now what's my new stream value? The name on this guy is still dummy something. I think it's the other way around, Brian.
Did I?
I
Sorry.
think it's new stream and FileStream. I think. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Let's see. Oh no, you're right. You're absolutely right. So like this, FileStream. And what did ChatGPT add that we're missing also? File access right? New file path. So I put the new file path. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Access right. Oh, file access dot right. I don't know if that's necessary, but let's try it. So file stream, blah, blah. So new stream is supposed to, or maybe it's in the file stream. I don't know. Let's just find out. So we're trying to change this to non-existent.txt. Let's see what that gives us. So on the new stream, the name is, oh my God, it's worse. You know what it did? It picked up the path of the folder that we're in. So now it's pointing out to Visual Studio. It's worse, basically. No, I think a better option here is basically to
I don't think FileStream's going to work. I think it's too tightly tied to your OS. It's sort of combined. Yeah, it's combined with that read file or file. Yeah.
The stream that we're sending to you anyway is a file stream.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to trim the path on it to get the name, and that's it.
Yep. Yep, I'll have to trim it inside RESTful Sense then.
Just put the trimming in a
broker. Yep.
In a broker, because whoever is going to send us a file stream, they will have a path in there. There's no way around it. And we want to clean up that path and just keep the file name. Give it a shot. See how it works. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Settled.
Yep. Halfway through writing the file broker.
Damn it. I haven't slept in 48 hours, so I'm gonna end the stream today early. And then Elbic and Kailu, we can do the validations and exceptions handling tomorrow. Okay?
All right.
Cool. I'll do that stream about OpenAI.net tomorrow. I'll tell people about the amazing stuff this community has been doing. And you know, I'll meet you tomorrow night. Okay, thank you all. Take care.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.